Well, here we go, y'all. It's amazing, isn't it? This is an early morning meeting. It's been rescheduled, and here we are, just excited about getting together and talking. Can you believe it? Excited to get together and talk about haiku.
Haiku.
Is this our 2-year anniversary, or is this, how many years is this now? We started in August.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
If
I
we
hadn't thought
started in
about
August, it's definitely 2 years.
Yeah, I was visiting Boise in August 2 years ago, I think. And we sat down at that noisy coffee shop.
that. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And little did we know what was in store. A pandemic.
Oh man.
We have
Yeah.
created a monster.
Those were the days.
That's right. Well, it's August, and this is our 20th recording. I'm going to toss it. We've got haikus to share, and great ones too. So start off.
They all flowed together so well this month, I thought.
I did too.
In just an interesting way.
So we're going to start with Amy.
All right. So mine, I don't always title mine, but this time I did, and it is titled, What If? Shimmering light web, all hearts interconnected, as one we all go. And then I wrote on the back of my postcard, an idea I'm pondering. What if shimmering webs of light connected every heart in the world? Would I live differently? What if when my heart constricted, others felt the pull? What if when my heart expanded, others felt the grace?
And can you show the little pop open card that you sent to?
Oh, they were all different. I don't have, I guess.
Man. Okay, well,
Yeah, I had little cards that went with it that like this.
Well, I referenced mine in my writing,
Oh.
and it says life is beautiful, and on the inside it says life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. That's a quote from dear Annette Funicello.
Love it.
Good old Annie.
Isn't it great? It was just great. Okay, Davin, you want to take it?
Yeah. Well, holy cow. I opened the little square. Life is beautiful. Life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. And I began thinking, Amy wrote this. What would Amy say is wonderful? Shimmering light web, our hearts connected in a way that makes us accountable to each other and responsible for each other. The tug of one heart on another, a reminder that everything I do has implications for those around me and likely for those I don't know and maybe have never met. As I sit here wallowing uneasily in my easy COVID anger at those whose misguided senses of freedom put us all in grave danger, I want desperately to feel the connectedness expressed in this poem. It reminds me of the Grinch with his expanding heart and the Who's of Whoville who loved Christmas, even when it wasn't perfect. It also reminds me of the most scouty of Boy Scout lessons. Build competence and a sense of responsibility for other people so that when the chips are down, you can be helpful rather than a burden. Maybe the essential thing is that life isn't perfect. There's a real purpose in the human endeavor to live with a sense of connection, a sense of responsibility, a sense that our work to make things better isn't lost, even though it might only be a drop in the bucket. Thank you, Amy. Yes, let's live differently.
Wow, beautiful.
All the pieces that you sent, I thought, I read the haiku and then I flipped it over and I read the back and then I read the little card. It was like, boy, this is so nice.
Oh, I love it.
Really meaningful.
It was great. It was great. And so I started off with this little thing too. It's pretty interesting. And even though life isn't perfect, according to Marcus Aurelius, dwell on the beauty of life. I just got out of a session, as I mentioned earlier to y'all, with a group of people from around the world, actually. And we talked about a variety of things, but one of them was kindred spirits. And I think that whole notion of kindred spirits and the interconnection in Amy's haiku fits. And I just wanted to say, and I mentioned in our group this morning, the kindred spirits I feel with you two, with this little group. So first, I loved the envelope with colors highlighting my name and then colorful flowers, I think, piece of tape to help keep the contents secure. It put me in the mood, the spirit of Amy's haiku. This intimate, delicate haiku, and as importantly, the narrative idea Amy is pondering reminded me that we are all explicitly interconnected by highways and streets and the ever-present internet, but that we are also interconnected in unexplicit, hidden ways. What if? Such a marvelous thought, which opens so much. Amy ponders, we had or have interconnections of heart. How would that change us? What if? When my heart expanded, others would feel the grace. When I pictured webs of light, I thought naturally of the spider webs in my backyard, invisible until the sun shines on them in a certain way, floating, beautiful. These webs of light are sticky. They capture, and the architect is hidden too, until the victim is caught. That process too is part of interconnectedness. The ecology, the cycle of life and death, so much of what goes on is invisible to us, and especially when we're too busy not paying attention. Amy's words, shimmering light web, heart constricted or expanding, beautifully connected me, her reader, with this exquisite idea of hers. As our hearts expand, the light grows, attraction and the pull and the feeling of grace is felt. I wonder if that light can become so bright, the world so lit up, that the connections between can become immersed into one glorious, shimmering, as Amy says, one oneth. That will be a bright day indeed.
One once. I
One
love it.
month.
I like it. All right. So this is my hi bun. One morning, sitting in silence, focusing on my heart center, I thought, what if our hearts are connected? I was sitting in silence, trying to find the center because I'd been scrolling social media and saw a post from someone I knew a long time ago that broke my heart. It was mean-spirited, angry, and judgmental, or it felt that way to me. I was trying to see beneath. What causes someone who stands for love, grace, mercy to say such things? Some call lost my place. Some call this the butterfly effect, a powerful idea, but perhaps an unproven phenomenon. The flap of a butterfly wing can alter the course of a hurricane on the other side of the world. Small things can reflect, rebound, and magnify, creating a ripple effect, catastrophic and unseen. What if when my heart constricts with fear, anger, and judgment, it ripples through the world, creating unseen consequences? What if when I work to metabolize my fear, anger, and judgment into love, grace, mercy, kindness, that too ripples into the world, creating unseen consequences? It's hard to prove and yet hard to disprove.
Wow. Your
I have a
words.
lot to say here, but my dog is barking in the background, so I'm muted.
It's okay.
My dogs this time of day are likely to bother us because this is the time of day I take them to the park. And so they'll constantly come in and bother me until this park.
Well, I was making sure my dog was not around because she always likes to bark at everyone who's on the walks. So
That's right.
dogs.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if our dogs come rolling in here. Hey, there's Penny. Hey, Penny.
She's a little disgruntled right now because I'm taking her away from her window perch where she's barking at the dogs that are walking by outside.
So funny.
Yeah, I was telling Amy, don't be surprised if our dogs start going, because this is walking, taking to a park and walk or something. So is gruntled a word? I know gruntled is a word. There's disgruntled and there's gruntled.
Yep.
I looked it up once. So from that great start, let's go to this.
Mm. I loved this. The photos were amazing.
Aren't they? Aren't they just great? They are just great.
The photos are fun. That top one there is in Blackwater, Missouri. And it really was. Just you look at that and it just feels like Blackwater, Missouri, you know.
I love the one for some reason. If you can scroll up, Michael, I think it's Topeka, that the one in the lower, and it just said West. I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, I took that picture for Michael's benefit. I was texting him my Kansas photos.
Oh.
Since that's his roots.
Yep, indeed. I might have something to say about that here in a second. We'll see. So Davin.
Yep. All right. Driving across the country is the title. Amber waves, lush trees. The road, adversary, friend. This country, stunning.
And then just so our viewers can be sure to see this, you want to say anything about the pictures yet, or do you want to wait?
I can say something about them at the after we all offer our highline, I think.
Okay. Amy, you want to start?
Sure.
No, me too. Go ahead.
I'll start. Look wide, look wider still. It takes road trips, hours upon hours of changing scenery to be reminded that still, continuously, always, the world is bigger, unfolding, healing, majestic, shimmering, shining, inviting, changing, and unchanging. The road we travel on our pilgrimage of life can attack and demoralize. And yet, in the changing, unchanging nature of life, we are held by friends. We do not travel alone. It's good to be reminded that we are part of a vast, beautiful, challenging, shimmering planet. Compost, decay, and rot create the green, vast vistas that the road reveals. Stunning, the vistas of the valleys, all of it magic. Kind of tied in everyone's haiku there.
Yeah, nice, very nice. So before we go further, I just want to double check. So you use the word shimmering in your exercise each week in your newsletter or whatever what do you call that?
Do I?
Your message.
Yeah, my newsletter. Yeah.
What is it at the end where you say, I look at these phrases? I look at these phrases.
Like florilegium.
Yeah,
like, and for what words sparkle? I always say what words sparkle up. Yeah. Yeah.
Florilegium. I've never heard of that before. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, love it. Okay. Amber waves, lush trees. I love it. And I love that you took these photos. I just love it. Reading this haiku, but more experiencing the whole. The pictures and the words reminded me that this experience of haiku is profoundly altered by the combination of both. The haiku reminding us of amber waves of America the Beautiful, elaborated and articulated by trees and roads and a stunning country, brought memories to mind. But it was the idea of a father-son road trip, crossing this immense and imaginably rich landscape that moved me. Back to Amy's thoughts of interconnection. I was through this now unpacking memories of my own. I loved these personal pictures, and Davin, knowing that I grew up in Kansas, doubtless shared the crossroads picture leading to Topeka or Lawrence as a special connection, which I really appreciated. Because I had to make that decision. Topeka and Washburn University, or Lawrence and Kansas University myself. I chose Washburn. My dad chose KU. Interesting. There are crossroads, decisions to make on this great journey of life. And Davin's haiku and photos remind us that though the country may be stunning, the road along the way is not just a freeway straightaway, but has detours, gravel, dirt, and potholes. But I wonder if those vistas, reading a book by a fireplace, or a fire is really what it is, an outdoor fire in the middle of nowhere, which is connected by webs of light, Amy, to everywhere, father and son, isn't the whole point anyway.
Mm.
What
Beautiful.
a great haiku. What a great pictures, Davin.
You know, I was thinking as we drove through Topeka, I was thinking about you and Washburn as well. So yeah, nice. I appreciate that. All right, it's my turn, right?
Mhm.
Flyover country. Each of these pictures represents flyover country. It's those places holding little meaning for those folks anxious for the coasts. I've had few experiences more meaningful than my time in flyover country with my progeny. Thank you, Lord, for this continent. This amazing picture and the others on the other side, amazing not because I took them, but because they capture the complexity of easily dismissed places. They show the heart of a cross-country drive. I crossed the country twice this summer to help my son travel to and from his summer job. These pictures share some moments from our travels. In total, I've made this drive 8 times, and I enjoy it even more every time. I'm often asked, why would you drive? Which is usually followed by an expression of distaste for long drives. One honest answer is that I would prefer to cycle. The driving provides a happy medium of practicality, enjoyment, and expediency. The slower the mode of transport, though, the more in touch you are with the places you visit. The drive reveals so much. Amber waves, yeah. Verdant, green hills and trees, yes. Fun and interesting people. The road is the test, of course. So much danger and so much possibility. The highway, usually Interstate 70, 80, or 90. The highway is seductive because it is easy and fast, but finding gravel and winding pavement is so much better, provided you're not overly distracted by your ultimate destination. There are so many parallels to life, so many takeaways. For this haiku, I think I'll just stick to gratitude. Gratitude for the freedom, ability, and opportunity to make these drives. Gratitude for the places and people offering food, fuel, and camping spots. Boy Scouts have a high adventure base called Philmont, and they have a famous prayer that they say. It's called Philmont Grace, and I think it's apt. For food, for raiment, for life, for opportunity, for friendship and fellowship, we thank thee, O Lord. Amen.
Mm.
So
Beautiful.
the pictures, I don't know if you're able to show it, Michael. I'll just quickly go through and say what they are. So the top left there is my son Jules, and that's our camping spot in Blackwater, Missouri. And almost every state has free camping spots by rivers to naval fishing. So it's a really kind of wonderful hidden gem that most states have. So, we pull off the highway and drive until we find the one we want, and there it was. Pretty nice spot there in Blackwater, Missouri. The picture to the right of that, in the top right corner, is the Missouri River in South Dakota, Chamberlain, South Dakota. And Chamberlain is a pretty amazing place. Crossing the river there, there's a rest stop there, and has an enormous statue of Sacagawea, and just a very moving tribute to that location in our nation's history and in the history of Native people. But you cross the Missouri River here, and you literally go from east to west. It's humid and kind of lush on the east side of the river. You cross that huge river, and on the other side, all of a sudden it's the west. The landscape is different. It's an amazing place. The bottom left is Wyoming, so that's in Sunlight Basin, Wyoming. So deep northwest Wyoming, north of Yellowstone, close to Montana. And then of course, Michael talked about the road divide there. Do you go to Topeka or do you go to Lawrence?
That's right.
Love it. I wanted to know what book he was reading.
Wendell Berry, collection of Wendell Berry essays, actually.
Perfect.
It is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Your progeny, all three of them are just very special. They're just very, very special.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can never get over Jules wearing that cowboy hat. He's like a T, you know, he's like a, they're so awesome. You guys have awesome kids. So, okay, let's keep going here. That was really a great high bun, Davin. Really,
So good.
really thoughtful. Okay, Michael's haiku, a little more pedestrian than all this. New sprouts, shoots of grass, peeking anew through compost, promises a lawn. And then here's the second part.
Come on. I can go.
All right.
Growth and learning happen with the appropriate balance of challenge and support. Too much challenge and not enough support results in frustration and demoralization. Too much support without challenge leads to stagnation. So too with these bold, fragile grass shoots. Too much compost, not enough seed, sunshine, and water, and it's just a pile of compost. It's rich in nutrients and filled with potential for growth, but it's just a pile of decaying organic matter. The balance required for growth, for beauty, for beginning is fragile, beautiful, ordinary, and extraordinary all at once. To have eyes to see the new potential promises in a pile of compost is the invitation of haiku. Tender shoots of grass ask us to look deep, wise, and wide.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I loved it. I loved it. Just grass, compost, so much there.
Compost is the key, I think.
Yeah.
Compost is the key in more ways than one. I was just talking to someone yesterday, and I talked about how we're all like mushrooms, in the dark and covered. So this month's visual and verbal feast, courtesy of MK, begins with the outside of the envelope. Michael and Amy send these amazing brick and mortar haiku through the Postal Service, of all things, that are truly amazing. Michael's envelope art, his own hand drawing, it's folk art, museum quality, if I do say so myself, captures his poem perfectly, verdant to the core. The lighter green sprouts hint at what lies beneath compost. Compost, that mélange of organic goodness, the primordial stew of everything our palates and yards hold dear. My youth was literally a tale of compost. Baseball, church, scouts, and compost. And I loved it. Every weekly lawn mowing produced a miraculous abundance of goodness producing organic material, decomposing for our benefit, steaming mounds of goodness. But Michael gave us words too, thank goodness. It's a tale of reparation, a yard gone wrong, perhaps. Seeds growing in spots that can't quite keep up. Oh, touche, my yard can't keep up either. What is the promise of compost? Compost is nothing but promise. It steams, it stinks. But holy cow, it yields tremendous results. Michael says it promises a lawn. It promises a lawn and so much more. The words in the envelope tell the tale. The stem of greatness sprouts from the seed of sacrifice. I wish I had heard those words when I was 10, or at least had been able to take them seriously when I was 10. Mowing that green expanse of lawn in my childhood home. Greatness was within my grasp, but I ignored it. I still aspire to a lawn born from the seed of sacrifice. That's the work. That's the daily work. Compost.
You really, these are great high buns, you two. So nice. You pull out so much more than I didn't even think about. This is great. Of course. So let's see. Our backyard lawn was destroyed last year by some fungus. I didn't notice it, thinking it was drying out with the heat until too late. So I decided to plant my own grass with compost from the city, which comes from the communal natural cuttings from all our neighbors and neighborhoods. I did that in the late fall, and lo and behold, grass began sprouting. My heart was going pity-pat. I love to see it grow. Then, with the searing heat this summer and all the watering, fungus again came to my lawn, and I replanted again. Shovel load by shovel load of communal natural dirt, and seed by seed, and grass started growing. Just a couple of weeks ago, my front lawn started down the same path, and I thought I'd catch it this time. It turned out to be chinch bugs. But I think that lawn was saved. It's greening again. But my tree has aphids, it turns out, and needs some special arborist medicine, it seems. What if we, all of life, all of the cycle of life and death, were connected by shimmering webs of light, the light that infuses all of nature with life? What if, and we were the gardeners, planted and replanting Amy's light and hooking up the strands of life so we could, and all of life could, continue to sprout and resprout and resprout. And the amber waves and roadsides could remain fulgent and heavy laden with the diverse beauty of all of nature. What if?
Wow, way to tie it all together.
Nice, perfect. You planned that, I think. Fulgent. Was that word fulgent?
Fulgent. What a great
Fulgent.
word. Huh?
Yeah, that's a great word. I like that. I'm going to use that today many times.
I might use reparations. That was a great word. So many, if I use the adjective great one more time, I'm going to choke myself. So many indescribably perfect. Where are you, thesaurus, when I need you? Well, that was a wonderful. And is there anything? And there's just so many things to think about here. But one that I think about a lot when I go through this process, and I mentioned it when I was reading about Amy's, is the connection between the haiku words and our experiences and the art and the pictures and everything that connects to bring meaning to the experience. And not to mention this piece right here, which really adds so much. It's just pretty amazing. I mean, I can write a haiku a day, and I do. I generally write a haiku a day, but it's when they become so much more that they're just beyond words on paper.
Yeah. I mentioned your envelope, but I didn't show it. I mean, you can barely make it out on there, but it's just beautiful. I love this, what you do in the envelopes, Michael.
Thanks.
And then even on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking earlier in another meeting this morning about what's going on in the world and some of the things that kindred spirits are doing and this and that and the other. And one person was talking about he's picking up some art and sketching and things like that. And it's true that these haiku have given me an opportunity. I'm not an artist, but they give me an opportunity to start, trying to incorporate some things in my life where there's holes, and drawing and poetry and connection. And
you might be an artist, Michael.
A colorblind artist. There's nothing like having, brown ground and no, brown grass and green ground and bluegrass.
It all works.
Kentucky. Yeah.
It all works.
I love it. I really do love it. So it's good.
It's like the Dolly Parton song. The sky is green, the grass is blue. So there's at least 3 people who will watch this who probably want us to end.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Get this thing over with. Thanks everyone. It's a pleasure. I'll see y'all next week or next month. Bye-bye.